The 15 best Christmas horror movies to haunt your holiday. Whether you're baking cookies or fantasizing about setting the tree on fire, holiday horror films are perfect for any Christmas mood. They're that ideal blend of thematic cheer and commercial cynicism that screams, "I'm having a good time," but only because it could be worse, that you probably feel most holiday seasons, but especially during this one. From mutant gingerbread men and rosy-cheeked killers to stories of betrayal and twisted tragedies, the creepy Christmas catalog is vast. We've combed through and picked out 15 of the best to get your horrifying holiday going. Enjoy, Goblins. 1. Black Christmas, 1974. Inspired by The Babysitter and Man Inside the House urban legend, and of extreme influence to John Carpenter's 1978 subgenre-defining Halloween, Bob Clark's 70s classic takes place in a sorority house over the Christmas break. A group of young women, including Margot Kidder and Olivia Hussey, are terrorized by an unknown caller who keeps harassing them with foul hysterics and lurid threats. While tension simmers in a way only the best horror films can pull off, Black Christmas also shines a light on society's penchant for not taking women seriously when they raise concerns. It's considered one of the earliest examples of a slasher film and went on to inspire two lesser remakes in 2006 and 2019. 2. The Thing, 1982. While it doesn't technically take place during Christmas, this John Carpenter masterpiece is set in the dead of winter on a remote research outpost in the South Pole, so we're gonna count it. That winter wonderland becomes a claustrophobic nightmare when an extraterrestrial shapeshifter infiltrates the base camp. The temperature is low, but tensions are high as everyone, including Kurt Russell's R.J. McCready and Keith David's Childs, grows more suspicious and paranoid of each other as they try to flesh out the imposter. The Thing is one of those rare sci-fi horrors that stands the test of time due to its suspenseful pacing and its groundbreaking practical effects by Rob Bottin, leaving you both frozen and scared stiff. 3. Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984. Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year, according to young Billy's, Jonathan Best, supposedly senile grandfather, Will Hare, who warns the 5-year-old that Santa doesn't just reward good little children, he punishes the bad ones. That premonition rings true when his parents, Tara Buckman, Jeff Hansen, are slaughtered by a carjacker dressed as Old Saint Nick himself, Charles Deerkop, just hours later, condemning the toddler into further moral compass trauma at an orphanage run by a domineering Mother Superior nun from hell. But once a now-grown Billy, Robert Brian Wilson, is forced into the red suit by his retail job, his Santa snaps, becoming the judge, jury, and executioner of the naughty or nice list. Between ominous animatronics and irresistibly exaggerated 80s acting, Silent Night, Deadly Night's Yuletide kills do not disappoint, featuring a hanging by holiday lights, decapitation via sleigh ride, and impalement by a reindeer, okay, a taxidermied stag, but still. 4. Jack Frost, 1997. Your nose won't be the only thing he's nipping at. No, this isn't the family-friendly Michael Keaton movie of the same name, though some unsuspecting 90s kids may have been traumatized after renting the wrong video. This cult classic tells the tale of a serial killer, Scott McDonald, who is transformed into a murderous snowman when his prison transport collides with a genetics truck full of experimental lab acid. Complete with frozen performances and witty one-liners, it's the exact kind of ridiculousness you'd expect from a low-budget 90s holiday horror film. It's flawed and thawed, but an abominable film that's worth defrosting. 5. Inside, 2007. New wave French horror films are not for the faint of heart. Movies like High Tension, 2003, and Martyrs, 2008, would have even Eli Roth wetting his knickers, and Inside is no exception. Brutal, savage, and gory, this movie follows a home invasion on Christmas Eve where a mysterious woman, Beatrice Doll, tries to steal an unborn baby right out from another woman's, Alison Parody, pregnant belly. With more twists than a candy cane, Inside is a gut-wrenching nightmare, if you have the stomach for it. 6. Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale, 2010. This Finnish horror action comedy is a unique breed. Walking the line between various genres, the artful and twisted tale explores the mythos of Santa Claus when an archaeological dig deep in a frozen mountain unearths what they believe to be the original Santa. It's a dark fantasy that has slayed reindeer, missing children, and a grimly funny take on the legend you thought you knew. 7. Krampus, 2015. Fans of Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat, 2007, will feel right at home for the holidays with this twisted tale, which goes to show that there are true terrors in this world that are more frightening than forced family gatherings. Everyone knows the rules of when Santa Claus is coming to town, but this film explores the lure of the lesser-known anti-Santa, the Krampus. During a terrible winter storm, a family, led by Adam Scott and Toni Collette, is stalked by the beast and his evil elves. They may struggle to break the curse, but the true torture remains being stuck with your in-laws. 8. A Christmas Horror Story, 2015. What do the Krampus, a horde of undead elves, bloodthirsty changelings, and William Shatner have in common? They're all part of this horror anthology, connected loosely through a framework featuring Shatner hosting a radio show. Each story is interwoven throughout the movie, telling tales of teen terror, frosty family feuds, and flesh-eating elves. It's got something for everyone under the tree, including the ultimate snowdown between Santa Claus, George Busa, and the Krampus, Rob Archer. 9. Better Watch Out, 2016. If you've ever wondered what Home Alone, 1990, would be like with an R rating, then look no further than Better Watch Out. It's one of those movies where the less you know the better, because this wild sleigh ride will keep you on your toes. Blending dark comedy with some truly horrific moments, it's a complex and psychotic game of mousetrap when a boy, Levi Miller, and his babysitter, Olivia DeYoung, encounter an uninvited visitor. So hang the stockings and the paint cans, and don't forget to lock the doors. 10. Anna and the Apocalypse, 2017. A feel-good Scottish Christmas zombie musical? It shouldn't work, but it does, and boy, does it have some bite. Splicing Shaun of the Dead, 2004, with High School Musical, 2006, a group of teens, led by Ella Hunt's Anna, fight for survival when they get separated from their loved ones during a zombie outbreak. Navigating the apocalypse in puberty is no easy task, but these teens are slashing and singing their way through herds of undead to make it to safety. Featuring some pretty poignant moments and infectious melodies, you'll find that it's a Christmas movie you can really sink your teeth into. 11. The Lodge, 2019. This superb slow-melting psychological horror film about an unnerved woman, Riley Keough, who spends a few days alone with her new fiancé's children, Jaden Martell and Leah McHugh, sees The Shining's cabin fever with an added dose of modern surrealism. The Lodge takes its time building a tense atmosphere of suspense and delirium set in a remote winter cabin just days before Christmas. The sole survivor of a suicide cult she was raised in, Keough's Grace trades PTSD for the PTA as the movie raises the question, is she losing her mind? Or are children just terrible? 12. Silent Night, 2021. In Silent Night, Keira Knightley and Matthew Good are throwing a killer Christmas party, quite literally. In the wake of a global catastrophe where a poisonous cloud is killing everything alive, a group of family and friends gather for one last night of revelry. The merriment is interrupted when debate arises over whether or not to take government-provided exit pills for a painless death just before the gas arrives. Selfishness, suicide, and Scrabble are fair game before all becomes calm and, not so bright. 13. Gremlins, 1984. When getting into the holiday spirit, nothing says Christmas more than cute and cuddly Mogwai, right? Don't let the PG rating on the poster fool you. This classic creature feature led to the creation of the PG-13 distinction. Upon its release in June 1984, this Steven Spielberg-produced creature feature about mischievous gremlins that wreak havoc on a town on Christmas Eve was criticized for exposing children to violence, a refrain Spielberg was familiar with after the debut of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 1984, a month earlier. In response, the industry titan suggested the Motion Picture Association of America, MPAA, add a new level to its rating system, and you don't ignore Spielberg. Whatever its rating, Gremlins features impressive practical effects and some delightful dark comedy, making for a well-rounded classic that defied genres and defined a generation. 14. The Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. A cultural classic that was once Disney's ugly stepchild, The Nightmare Before Christmas was originally released under Touchstone Pictures for fear it would be too scary. The House of Mouse eventually took it back under their wing after it proved to be a holiday delight. Based on a poem by producer Tim Burton, this Henry Selick-directed stop-motion musical centers around the residents of Halloween Town taking over Christmas. Though Selick has expressed frustrations that Burton too often receives most creative credit. The songs were written by Danny Elfman, who also performs the lead character Jack's singing, and Catherine O'Hara voices Jack's love, Sally. Both visually striking and endlessly original, this odd film is a multi-sensory and multi-seasonal gift. 15. A Christmas Carol, 2009. The OG ghost story that started it all scared the dickens out of people when Charles Dickens released it in 1843. With so many film adaptations in the years since, it can be hard to choose a favorite, but there are a few cinematic interpretations of this ghastly tale worth mentioning. And Robert Zemeckis' 2009 take featuring Jim Carrey is noteworthy for a few reasons. Not only are the ghosts downright terrifying, but the animation style is also unsettling, and may scare you for all the wrong reasons.